Okay, my precious angel, I need you to just chill in my line of sight for like 3 minutes. Oh, look at you, baby. You're so cute. And then I'll give you like a treat or something, okay? Okay. I love Mochers. He's the world's cutest and sweetest dog, but when he gets hyper, it's just intense. He just really, really. Anyways, you guys didn't come here for Mochi. You came here for the complexion. Oh my god. How cute. He just turned over and tucked his head down. How did he go from like a demon to like adorable in like half a second? That's crazy. Anyways, sorry. I have the Bite Complexion. I have both their primers. This is the hydrating one and this is the mattifying one. And then I have 2 of their foundations because it was really hard to find my shade. I'll talk about it later on. So I just bought 2 and mixed them together to get my perfect shade. And I also used the Hourglass concealer that also just came out as well. And for some strange reason, I randomly started to talk about the Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics highlighters. These are towards the end, so you can just like skip over it, but it's like super brief. I just kind of touch up on all of them because I have all the highlighters. So you'll see that in the end and you can just skip over it if you want to, blah, blah, blah. So also, this is an impromptu wear test because I didn't remember to film an intro, but this, I put my makeup on about like 8 hours ago. I just got home. Remember, I was like chasing Mochi, working up a sweat. I'm actually really hot right now and it's actually 60 degrees. So just imagine how internally hot I am. And I have like my hair everywhere and stuff like that. And usually when my hair is in beach waves, it clings to my face a lot, as you can see. So, but with all that said, all those factors in play, my face looks exactly the same as it did when I finished applying it. Like it didn't get any shinier. It didn't break down, especially on the mouth area. Usually that's like the big test for foundation. Because you know, you talk and you eat and stuff like that. So usually your mouth area breaks down first. Nothing. Not even when I rest my chin on my hands and stuff like that. So that mouth area is fine. Usually the nose crease, that's always what gets super oily. None of that broke down. My nose isn't oily. Usually if concealers are, you know, just funky, your liner and your mascara will transfer to it and it will kind of like start melting down. That didn't happen. And I have heavy liner on right now, like heavy liner, lots of mascara, and everything is just exactly where I left it before I filmed this. It looks exactly the same. You guys will see later on. So this is just like a little intro to what you're gonna see about these products. So if you guys want to see how it applied and other fun facts about it, then please keep on watching. And also, disclaimer, I totally apologize about the audio. That's my first time trying it out. Bad idea. I played copyright music in the background, but copyright music sucks, so the mood just kind of goes everywhere, and I'm not sure if it was like too loud. I try to keep it super quiet, but it just creeps me out being in a silent room. So I'm back to my AirPods. I just don't like having AirPods because then I feel disconnected from the world. Anyways, you guys get it. Just basically, I apologize, and here we go. So with the complexion launch for Bite, they also released 2 primers to go along with their foundation. And what I really think is cute is that they did a lot of attention detail to the packaging. So both the tubes look pretty much the same, but you can see the teardrop, not teardrop, you know what I'm talking about. This little drop thing is filled in, and otherwise it looks very much similar, but this one's shiny and this one's matte. So this one's for oily skin, this one's for dry skin, so it's cute. So one's normal to oily, one's normal to dry. So I think it's cute that you can kind of differentiate by the texture of the tubes. So this one's gonna be normal to oily, and it's gonna mattify and blur. This one's normal to dry, it's gonna be hydrating, and there we have it. What I find is interesting is that they're both made from different places. So the oily one is made in France, and then the hydrating one is made in Italy. Interesting. Doesn't mean anything, don't know, just pointing it out. But what I do find interesting is that its shelf life is only 6 months. This is a standard 1 ounce. So for example, I know the tube looks tiny, but like, okay, so this is a Fenty hydrator. So this obviously looks bigger than this, but they're both 1 ounce. This lasts for a year, this lasts for 6 months. So based on how much you wear makeup and how big your face is, I have a huge face, so I mean, I use more product, so just take that into consideration as you will. For today, I'm gonna try this oily skin one just because I want to see if it feels silicone-y. I threw the box somewhere. Don't know where it's at, but I don't know if it says free of silicone. But you know how usually things that are like mattifying and blurring and stuff, it usually has that silicone-y like texture feeling to it. Even if it doesn't have silicone in it, sometimes it still has that same texture. So I'm curious to see if this has it, so that's why I'm just gonna try it. because right now my skin isn't dry or oily, so I could use either one. So I'm just gonna use this one just for kicks. So it looks kind of like lotion, and let's just see how it feels. Oh, it does not feel, it literally feels like I'm putting on moisturizer. And this is the oily skin one. How interesting. It literally feels like I'm putting on like face lotion. Face lotion, face moisturizer. Interesting. I really like how this feels too, because this one does feel hydrating. Like, it smells good. Like, it doesn't have a strong smell. It just smells fresh. It smells really like fresh and like soothing, and it feels really cool on your skin. And like I said, I have a big face, so I use a lot of product. And yeah, that's weird. This feels very cooling, very moisturizing. Doesn't feel like silicone. How interesting. I wonder how the dry one feels then. I'm in the shades L10 and L45. I got 2 shades because honestly, finding shades was so hard. I got this in store, not online, and I recommend you guys do the same. Get samples, be patient, and just really try it out and really find your shade, because even for me, this is hard, and I don't have a hard time finding my shade. I'm pretty good at it by now. I, for the most part, usually never get it wrong, but this was like super, super hard because their shade range is like Hourglass. It's really wonky and all over the place, and it doesn't really make sense. Like, if you go up one shade or down one shade, it's a huge gap in how dark and how light it is. And then the undertones, you know, undertones are super important when it comes to complexion. The undertones are all over the place, so it was really all over the place. It was really wonky, so just really be patient and just try and find your correct shade, because it's gonna be really hard. So I also remember seeing in the comments of like Trend Mood, people saying they had a really hard time like finding their shade when they purchased online. They use like the Sephora app where you just kind of, you know, they find your shade by taking a picture and stuff like that, and even that, it was really hard. So I figure everyone's really having a hard time, so like I said, be patient, get samples. So anyways, I'm gonna mix these 2 shades together because you know, when you do that, you can usually for the most part never go wrong. So let's try this out. I don't know what to expect. I don't know if this is like full coverage, medium coverage, anything like that. I was just interested in it. I have no idea why. So here we are. So it's just like the primer. It's like a tube. It has no pump or anything, which bothers some people. It doesn't really bother me. Just putting that out there. Always make sure it has this little thing. This music is kind of depressing, but oh well. So this is shade L45. That is pretty dark, but the reason why I chose this shade was because it's my undertone. It's like pink peachy, and then this is also pink, so mix them together and we get, this is super creamy and it feels really fluffy, like it feels like whipped cream. Oh, this is still too dark for me. Oh crap. Hold on. Okay, this should be good. So this is my end results after mixing. This is way too much product. I know, it's because I did it in reverse. I should put the light one down first and then mixed in the dark, but I put the dark one down first and mixed in the light. So here we go. Yeah, this is definitely full coverage. Definitely. This actually feels really nice. This feels really nice and lightweight. Like I said, when I first pumped it out, I just pumping it out, I didn't feel it. I just pumped down to my hand. It looked really creamy, but then once I touched it, it felt like whipped cream, the consistency, and it's really soaking into my skin. I feel like there's a better adjective for that, but I can't think of one right now. But it's soaking into my skin really nicely. It's just really just sinking into all the pores. It's just going down really nice. Going in, going down, going in really nice. And I like it. It doesn't feel heavy. It's very lightweight. I can see why people went bananas over this. Like, it's like the day it dropped, it was already sold out on Sephora online, and I was like, whoa. Yeah, how nice. And usually it's really hard to get into the crevices. Like some formulas, just like the crevice refuses to take it, and this one's like going in pretty nice. I like that. It has like a luminous finish, so this isn't a matte finish at all. And I used the mattifying primer, and this one And even with the mattifying primer, it still looks luminous. So this is like full coverage luminous foundation. Okay, so I know it looks a little bit crazy because I didn't put any on my under eyes. I never put any foundation these days anyways. I don't put foundation underneath my eyes anymore just because I'm gonna use concealer. So what's the point in having so many layers of complexion on? It's gonna look heavy and cakey. So I usually always skip the under eye area, and I've been liking it lately. So anyways, just ignore my under eyes. But this foundation looks very skin-like, very juicy, very youthful, very fresh. So I really like it, and it also gives you a lot of coverage. So, and it has a nice radiant luminous finish. And again, I am using the mattifying primer. So even with that said, I like how it looks. Okay, so now time for concealer. I have already tried these before a couple times already, and I freaking love it a little. I'm talking about a little, okay? A little goes a very long way. Like, don't go crazy and start like smearing it and stuff, because that's just gonna be way too much. I'm just aiming for the areas with like the most sunspots and freckles, and a little in my nose crease. Okay, so a little goes a very long way, and I feel like this looks so beautiful. It just looks so airbrushed and lightweight. It's just everything you want. It doesn't feel heavy, doesn't feel cakey, doesn't look like it either. It looks so effortless and clean on the face, very luminous. It just enhances everything. It looks so face tuned, but in a very natural way. Like, sometimes you can look really airbrushed, but it looks really unnatural, and this doesn't do that, so I really like it. This music is freaking killing me. Killing me slowly on the inside. Should I just be silent? Oh god. This is so, it looks so good. I just love how things are changing in the makeup industry, like formula wise. I remember like back then, if you wanted full coverage, you were gonna get something matte for sure, because they usually anything full coverage is usually always matte. If you wanted something luminous, it would usually be very sheer, and then people with oily skin obviously can't deal with that type of formula. Okay, multitasking obviously not my strong suit right now. I know I said a little goes a long way, and I just smeared everything, but it's because I knew I didn't have that much on the doe foot. So it looks like it's a lot, but it's a really thin layer. I didn't dot it like I did with the other one, but I trust me, it is a very, very thin layer, because that doe foot had like nothing on it. So I just wanted to brighten up. I'm in the shades Creme and Silk, by the way. Do you like the smell of it? Is anybody's else dogs like this? Like, for some reason, he loves smelling my foundation. He always does this. He just likes sniffing it. He's so funny. Lay down, boo-boo. Are you done? Yeah, lay down. Yeah. Okay, or sit. That's fine. Do you do you, boo-boo. Really, you're smelling? He's smelling the hand prime mixed the foundation. See? He's really into it. I have no idea why. Do you like it, baby? Is it Mochi approved? Yeah? Okay. Oh, you're so cute. The other day, I actually like left the house with this lip contour there. I did not blend it out, and I set it too. Like, I didn't realize until it's too late. Like, the beauty blender already had setting powder on it, and I shut it, and I was like, oh my god. But I still left the house because what was I gonna do? So I don't think anyone noticed, but if anything, it just looks like a crazy mustache, right? Like, I don't know, like, I just wonder how crazy I probably looked that day with that contour still there. I'm gonna set my face with the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder in shade Fair One. I like it because it has pink undertones. So I'm gonna use the Patrick Ta blush. This is in She's Passionate. It's super, super pinky, super pinky. I'm just taking some Toasty by Kylie to just kind of make my contour a little bit darker because my blush was hella crazy. So okay, I feel like this is a really good angle of my brow. I really love my brows. Well, not both my brows, but I love this brow. I love this brow a lot. I love how big and curvy she is. But my brother sent me some pictures that he edited from over the holidays from, like, you know, us doing family shindigs and stuff. He freaking photoshopped my brows smaller. Like, he just made them like back in the day when, you know, people drew like pencil brows. Like, that's what it looked like just like a thin ass little line. I was like, why would you? And then he made my eyes like this. Like, it was all like an alien, and then I had like a really pointy chin. I'm like, are you trying to make me look like an elf? Like, I don't understand. Like, it just looked really weird, and not like a cool elf, like, you know, The Witcher or something. Wait, he's not an elf. He's, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it wasn't like a cool fairy elf type thing. It was like, it was weird. And I don't know why he does this. It drives me nuts. I'm gonna set my makeup with the Mario Badescu spray. I really wish the spray like sprayed more like even and diffuse. It's really just like camel spits at you. I'm gonna use So Extra by Jaclyn Hill. This is her loose highlighter. I tried Amped already. I liked the formula. I didn't like the color. Amped is too close to my skin tone, so it was just like a really, really subtle highlight, and you know, I'm not a subtle highlight type of person, but if you are, then you know, there's that. I'm gonna try So Extra. This one's supposed to be much icier, so I'm gonna try that. I also have the palette in case you guys are wondering about it, if you're still on the fence about it. I don't know if it's still available to purchase. I believe it is. There's like, when you go to the Morphe store, like the whole Jaclyn Hill thing for this is like super full, so it's not like ravaged or anything. I think this is an amazing highlighter. It's super beautiful. It's so nice and wet looking and just goes onto your skin. It just like seeps in. It becomes your skin. So I think it is awesome. I love the shades and everything. Just for 50 bucks, it's for an indie brand. I guess she's considered an indie brand, right? For an indie brand, 50 bucks, that's pretty expensive. Maybe 45 would have been better, but you know, hey, that's just me. So I'm gonna try the loose highlighter in this color. Oh my god, that looks, oh my gosh, I love the way that feels. That feels so nice. That felt really nice. I like that. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm like speechless right now. I love this. Okay, I'm not mad at it anymore. I was like a little bit like, the pricing, like, I don't know, Jaclyn, but this is like, I love this. Also, random side note, I don't know if your Morphe store still carries it, but mine does. So if you guys are still on the fence if you should get these products or not, because they are pretty expensive to like play around with, I feel like the palette and the loose highlighters are the same. Like she said that this was going to be much more intense than this one. As you guys saw earlier, I really went in with it. Like the brush was heavily coated. I dipped it in multiple times and I just really went in there, and it's literally the same as this one. The same intensity, the same payoff, the same finish. It's all the same. This one's like 25 bucks, I believe, for one, and this is 50 bucks for 4 shades. So I feel like you should get this one instead of this, so you just get more shades, but the finish is the same, everything's the same, so there's really no point. You save more money doing this if you guys are still interested in this product. I know it's been out for a while, but just saying, maybe there's someone who wants to buy it. Hello. Okay, so this is obviously a different day. So the previous footage that you just saw, I used this primer, and today I'm going to use this primer, the normal to dry skin one, because today my face is a little dry, so you guys can really see this whole complexion collection. So here we go. Again, it has the little safety thing, so I know people haven't been using this. Let's see the texture here. Honestly, it looks exactly the same as the other one. Like literally they look the same, but let's see how they feel. Ooh. They honestly, if you gave it to me, I would, if you mix these up, I honestly would not know the difference. They feel exactly the same. They both feel really, they feel like really lightweight, very cooling, very hydrating moisturizers. That's what they feel like. They both have the same texture, consistency. Literally, I cannot tell the difference. It doesn't feel any different. Literally feels like I'm using the same one. I literally cannot tell a difference. Their texture is like exactly the same. Everything is exactly the same. Scent, texture, the way it feels on my skin, everything is the same. And again, I have a big ass face, so just some more product. Yeah, that's it. Okay, well, now you know. So if you're on the fence about getting it, it doesn't really matter which one you get because they're the same. So, bye-bye. Oh yeah, one thing I do want to say though is that both of these absorb into the skin like super quick, so you can just start applying your foundation. Some primers, you know how like it kind of sits on your skin for a little while before it kind of sinks in, so you want it to really sink in to actually feel its priming benefits before you put on your foundation. So if you don't like that wait time, then it's nice that this absorbs super quick, so you can just get started on your face. This is the finished look, so just take a gander at my skin. Yes, baby, I know what yours. So I forgot to film an outro for this video, but that actually worked out in my favor. So in the intro, I used the primer meant for oily skin, and right now I'm using the primer for dry skin. But besides that, everything is exactly the same. I used the same complexion, I used the same powders, I used everything on my face is exactly the same, just the primers are different. And I find that what I learned from this experience is that, fun fact, so usually when you use a primer meant for oily skin, it's supposed to like mattify, blow your pores, and make you look matte because you have oily skin. And then usually primers for dry skin usually make you look hydrated and luminous and glowy and all that stuff, right? It actually was the reverse. So when I used the oily skin primer, I ended up looking very glowy, very luminescent, very dewy, and I really loved it. I had nothing against it. I really loved the way the finish of my skin looked, and I wore it for many hours, and I never looked oily because, you know, there's a very fine line between dewy and oily, but I never crossed that line. So I stayed dewy, never looked oily. It was really great, and I loved it. So if you want to see how that looked, just go back to the intro, and you'll see how my skin looked. And this, I used the hydrating primer, but I actually ended up looking very matte and poreless. Also don't mind it. So if you guys are debating which primer you should get, just think about how do you want to look in the end. Do you want to end up looking dewy, or do you want to end up looking matte? And then just go from there. Just remember, the finish is in reverse. And then with that being said, my final thoughts on the foundation, I would definitely say this is a huge home run, especially since this is Byte's first time doing complexion. It was just like a lip brand before, so I think it's amazing that they did such a great job. I've used this twice now, and I loved it each time. I love the coverage, I love the application, I love how it feels on my skin, I love the finish. Everything about it is just amazing. The only thing I would say is just be careful with the shades. The reason why my shade matches me is just because I'm good at shade matching, in my opinion, and also because I got two foundations and I mixed the colors together to get the perfect shade. So if you're not good at shade matching, then I recommend you be patient, get this in store, get a bunch of samples, swatch, get shade matched by Sephora Beauty Advisor, you know, do all that stuff and just look and see how you look in different lighting to make sure it's your perfect shade. But if you're great at shade matching, then you'll be fine. So with that said, have a great day, guys.